Hi everyone, welcome to this week update. As usual, we are starting with DXY and the walkthrough all other instruments. This is DXY on the daily time frame. So far, the dollar has been on the rise, going up, has broken this top, and this also we are seeing some reactions here that looks like correction so far. There's not been a good thrust to the downside, but it looks corrective. And at least this structure to the upside, it has to give us at least an ABC structure or formation that is at least 100 extension is yet to click or tick 100 extension. So we still have more movement to the upside. But is it going to go straight to the upside? I don't think so. I think what we are going to see, because this is like a wave C or a wave 3, and in this being a wave C or wave 3, we are going to, this can be an extended flat in the middle, and this can be an A, I, B, and this C, the last leg to the upside. But what it's likely that we get is like, if we get a correction, one move to the upside to break the top, and thereafter, we should be seeing a bigger correction that will correct its whole movement to the upside without breaking this bottom here. It could be a much bigger correction if you are going for a more complex correction, in such that this one becomes an A, B, C. It can become a W, and X could come down, which is the fourth swing, which might not take this low. And before we start another leg of correction, if we are going to go up, we don't know yet what it's going to give us. But for now, we are yet to tick under the extension. So we should see a correction without breaking structure here. Maybe one more top to break the top one more before we begin to go down. But if we get a sell set up from here, from the DXY, we will sell. But I think there's still one more top before we begin to sell. If we go to euro dollar, the same way, it's been falling and we are seeing this reaction. So what we want to do is to look for a buy. We want to be looking for a buy, but not immediately. And there's still more, low to grind to get for the sell, but this looks like a correction. If we should go down and break down again, then we should have a much bigger correction before we fall again. So what we are trying to say is that if we are going to do any sell now, it's going to be short-lived. We have to be very careful because this might quickly turn to something else. But having said that, yes, we just have to be more vigilant and not just leave your trade unattended to. We might see a push to the downside, the last break of the structure to the downside before we now begin to see a bigger correction. So we want to sell shortly, like I said, look for that bigger correction before we now continue with our sell. That's, of course, going to take some time. Pound USD, typically the same. We are looking for price to probably fall more. Probably after a fall, we might see some more movement to the upside, a much bigger correction without taking up the structure and before we fall again. NZD USD, the same thing. NZD USD. Okay. I will expect us to probably have one more correction, one more fall, before we see a much bigger correction to the upside. USD JPY. USD JPY here. We are at a level that we can't see a sharp movement to the downside. This can react any moment. The best bet is to have your trend support here. Immediately you break the support, then I think under this low, one can have a sell stop under this low, maybe a very minimal lot size under this low, because once the Bank of Japan will mediate here, is going to be a big fall, a rapid fall. So I don't want us to be out of it. So that can come anytime soon. So, but for now, this thing has gotten to a point where we can have that reaction. Then the last but not the least is gold. What is gold doing? Gold. Price and market can be tricky, the way they want to make their movement. Now, it seems that the gold, this can begin to go up from here. This can begin to go up from here. And again, this can fall one more time to the downside before going up. I think what we are seeing here is a more complex correction. I don't see price coming up to take this top for now, except something wants to be written. For now, we can see on the daily ABC of the W, and this will now become our X. Will become our X. I think we are in the Y leg, and in the Y leg, it seems we are going to have a more complex correction in the Y leg. This one being a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This looks like the fifth leg to the downside. This may go up or come to the downside, but in case it's going to go up, we might have, this may give us a ABC to finish this. If it's not a 5 waves, that's the alternative here now. If it's not a 5 waves, then we can now see this as an A B, and a C, either a running flat or extended flat. Without breaking the trend resistance here, we can now have the A and the triad of ABC of X of Y here, then one more leg to the downside to give us the Y leg before we eventually come up. But for now, we are looking for a buy. This buy either from this level, from current level, or before one more time. So what this looks like to me for now is, it looks more like a 1, a 2. Yeah, the third wave, the length of this, yeah, it could be a third wave here. Then we may have one more move to the upside to give us the fourth wave and a 4, or the fourth wave here and the 4 to finish up this one. This one is going rather to looking impulsive in a way, but there are levels that this, will stop being a correction or a small correction for a fall, but a bigger correction. So if we turn to the 4-hour time frame here, this resistance is very key here. This resistance is very key. So on the 4-hour time frame, this place is very key, because if you see this movement as a three waves movement to the downside, A, B, and a C to the downside, coming to this place will be very key for price. Coming to this place will be very key for price. So eventually it might turn to be an A, B, and a C, a running flat or an extended flat here, whichever they will give us, and begin to fall again. If this wants to fall from here, if it's going to be one more wave to fall before that big correction, then it should give us. But once we break out of this level, once we take this out, once we take 4140 out, then it's a bigger buy or correction before we see that fall. With that said, I've come to the end of this week's update. Do like, share, comment. Bye.